April 9th, 2019. Howie thought I was dead this morning. Thank you for another day. I went to bed a half hour early last night at 9:30 p.m. This morning at 8:30 a.m., I awoke to what I thought was the cat jumping on me, to be Howie, shaking me pretty hard. He said he had done so 3 times, getting no response, and his heart was in his throat as he was leaning over to see if I was breathing, while continuing to shake me. That's why he was right in my face when I woke up, which startled us both. I usually wake at the slightest sound or motion, and I'm always out of bed making coffee by 7:30 a.m., so this was really bizarre behavior. Yesterday, Howie and I had been interviewed by Rachel Nuwer, who is a freelance writer doing a piece for Outside Magazine about the murder for hire trial. As much as I'd like to tell all these people that I'm done with it and don't want to relive another minute of it, I feel it is an unprecedented opportunity to get the message out there about the abuses inherent in cub petting. The case was a landmark case against wildlife trafficking that I want to make well known too, so those who are dealing in big cats see that the public is aware of their misdeeds and will be calling them into question if they persist. I'd listened to a TED Talk yesterday that made me wonder if I suffered SUDEP as a kid. It kills more babies and children than SIDS, but you never hear anyone talking about it. Rosalind Picard accidentally discovered that about 20 minutes before a grand mal seizure, there would be a spike of conductivity in the skin on one arm, but not the other. Further research indicated that these seizures were not the falling on the floor or foaming at the mouth sort of thing associated with epilepsy, but rather were a very subtle thing that caused the brain to tell the lungs to stop breathing. Anything could break that seizure, such as just calling the person's name, and they would gasp a breath and seem to be fine afterwards, until the next one. Children and babies were most often just found dead with no other indicators of why, except that they had stopped breathing. How many cats have been blamed with this one over the centuries? As a child, I can't even recall the number of times that I would gulp for air suddenly. When asked what happened by my mother or others who saw this gasp, I'd always just say, I forgot to breathe. 50 years ago, when I was young, no one had heard of such a thing, and I'd be chided with the wisdom of the day. No one forgets to breathe. It happened so often, and there wasn't any lasting effect that I never thought much of it until yesterday. As an adult, I'm less prone to the frantic gulp for air, but I still find that I frequently seem to have stopped breathing and consciously have to take a breath. My Apple Watch is also frequently reminding me to breathe. I can see why this might happen in a moment of deep concentration or fear, but it happens most of the time for no apparent reason. If I wake up dead, this may be why. All morning, Howie and I were interviewed by Leif Rigstead from TexasMonthly.com, and tonight is the FWC stakeholder meeting to discuss changes to their rules. Howie, Jen, and I will be there petitioning to end cub handling and the private possession of big cats. The abusers usually show up in higher numbers than those in support of ending abuse. We sent out an alert, so I hope others will care enough to show up. I found a petition we did to end cub petting and swimming ops in 2015 that had 30,141 signatures, so I plan to submit that, and Howie is going to submit our 70-page petition to USDA in 2012, asking them to ban the practice as well. His petition is not a signature petition, but rather 70 pages of documentation as to why cub handling is a violation of the Animal Welfare Act. If you're enjoying my diary, please like, share, and subscribe. You can find other ways to connect to me over at bigcatrescue.org/Carole.Baskin.